Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we are stripping away the fluff and talking about a training system with a cult following that's produced some of the freakiest physiques in modern bodybuilding. Doggcrapp Training, or DC training for short. It's brutal, it's minimalist, and it's built entirely around progressive overload pushed to the absolute limit. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how the system works, who made it famous, what a real routine looks like, what you can expect from it, and whether your body can actually handle it or not. Let's jump in. Doggcrapp Training was created in the late 1990s by Dante Trudel, a bodybuilder and coach whose online handle gave the system its name. The core philosophy is brutally simple. You train less often with fewer sets, but you push those sets to absolute failure and beyond using a technique called rest pause. Then you recover longer and come back stronger, adding weight or reps every single session. This is called beating the logbook. The system cycles 3 different workouts across the week, hitting each muscle group twice in an 8-day or 9-day period, which is a much higher frequency than traditional once-a-week splits. It also incorporates extreme facial stretching and a cyclic periodization approach called blast and cruise, which we will unpack shortly. The method's most famous modern ambassador is IFBB pro Dusty Henshaw. Dusty has publicly credited DC training for transforming his physique and consistently works with Dante Trudel as his primary coach. Another notable bodybuilders who have used or heavily borrowed from DC principles include David Henry, a 212 Olympia competitor, and Cedric McMillan spoke about incorporating rest pause and extreme stretching concepts early on his career. Rest in peace, he had a great physique. The system is most popular among advanced lifters who have exhausted standard volume-based approaches and need an extreme progressive overload stimulus to break through plateaus. This system is unconventional, so we need to take this step by step. First, the rep scheme is not 3 straight sets of 10. DC training uses a single rest pause per exercise. You select a weight you can lift for about 8 to 10 reps to absolute failure. That's your first failure point. You then rack the weight. Take exactly 10 to 15 deep breaths. This is roughly a 20-second rest. And immediately go again with the same weight. This time, you might get 4 to 6 reps before failure. You rack it again. Take another 10 to 15 deep breaths. And go a third time, typically getting 2 to 3 reps. The entire sequence counts as one working set. The 3 mini sets combined give you an extremely high intensity of effort, recruiting the highest threshold motor units repeatedly in a very short window. Next, after that rest pause set for a muscle group, you perform an extreme stretch. This is a weighted stretch held for 60 to 90 seconds, designed to load the fascia, the connective tissue that surrounds muscle, under a pump. The hypothesis, championed by Trudel, is that stretching fascia while the muscle is fully engorged with blood creates more room for muscle growth. For chest, that means holding a moderate dumbbell at the bottom of fly position. For triceps, a behind the neck stretch. For quads, a sister squat stretch. These are intensely painful and are considered a non-negotiable part of program. Finally, the overarching structure is blast and cruise. A blast is a period of 6 to 8 weeks where you apply the brutal progressive overload and chase personal records every training day. A cruise is a 2-week period of drastically reduced volume and intensity. Think a few light sets to allow the central nervous system and connective tissues to fully recover before the next blast. You cycle between these two indefinitely. The standard DCS split rotates 4 full body workouts performed on Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, or every other days, which means you hit every muscle twice every 8 to 9 days. The split is typically designed as follows. Workout A focuses on chest, shoulders, tricep, back, and abs. Workout B focuses on biceps, forearms, calves, hamstring, and quads. Workout C and D are variation, often repeating the same muscle group, but with different exercises to ensure systematic variation. A concrete example of workout A might be incline barbell press for chest, 1 rest pause set, immediately followed by a 60-second extreme dumbbell fly stretch. For shoulders, F-meet machine overhead press, same rest pause protocol, followed by a crossover lateral raises hold at the bottom position. For triceps, close grip bench press, rest pause, followed by a behind the neck stretch. For back widths, wide grip lat pull downs, rest pause. For back thickness, deadlifts are typically performed for 1 straight heavy set of 6 to 8 reps, then a slightly lighter set of 12 to 15, because rest pause on deadlifts is considered too dangerous. Each workout you must either add at least 1 rep to your first mini set total or add 5 pounds to the bar compared to the last time you performed that exact exercise. If you fail to progress on an exercise for 2 sessions, you drop it and rotate a new exercise for that muscle group. This ruthless rotation ensures you are always adapting and never stagnating. Because DC training is largely an anecdotal method, we must triangulate its results from its mechanism and related scientific literature. The system's primary driver is the rest pause set, which has been studied directly. A 2017 study by Prest and colleagues, published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, compared 6 weeks of rest pause training to traditional multiple set training in resistance training. The rest pause group performed a protocol very similar to DC. A set to failure, a short rest, and repeated efforts with the same load. The results showed that while both groups significantly increased muscle thickness in quadriceps and biceps, the rest pause group experienced a significantly greater increase in 1 repetition maximum leg press strength, a 28.2% increase compared to an 18.7% increase in the traditional group. Bench press strength gains were similar between groups. This suggests that the rest pause method can be exceptionally effective for driving strength gains with substantially less training volume. In the real-world DC context, dedicated users typically report rapid strength progression for the first 2 weeks, followed by more gradual but consistent gain. Body weight and muscular body weight increases are directly tied to nutritional intake, and DC training explicitly mandates a significant caloric surplus, often including a specific protein intake recommendation exceeding 1 gram per pound of body weight to fuel the recovery demands. The expectation is not just strength, it's dense, thick muscle development paired with enhanced weight capacity during the intense blasts. DC training is not for beginners. It requires a very high level of technical proficiency, as taking compound movements to absolute failure with heavy loads demands flawless form to avoid injury. The candidate is typically an advanced lifter who has already built a solid foundation and has stalled on conventional programs. Furthermore, the psychological profile matters. This method demands the ability to consistently train to true concentric failure, which is extremely uncomfortable. If you can self-regulate and push past extreme discomfort every single working set, you will not produce the necessary stimulus for muscle growth. Recovery ability is another critical filter. The blast phase is designed to push the nervous system to its limit, and the two cruise is non-negotiable to prevent overtraining and burnout. Individuals with poor sleep, high life stress, or inadequate nutrition will break down on this program. There is also a specific risk injury profile. The extreme stretching is controversial in a sport medicine community, and those with pre-existing shoulder instability or connective tissue disorders should avoid weighted extreme stretches. And finally, this is a hypertrophy and a strength program, not a general fitness protocol. It's suitable for a competitive bodybuilder, a strength athlete in an off-season phase, or an experienced gym veteran who specifically wants to maximize muscle density and has a discipline to keep a detailed logbook for every single workout without exception. If you're not prepared to track every rep and every pound with religious precision, this system will not work with you. So that's Doggcrapp Training, a system that throws out volume, bets everything on intensity, and has a track record of building some unbelievably thick physiques when applied correctly. It's not a quick fix, it's a long-term, logbook-driven grind that will test your mental fortitude as much as your muscles. If you tried DC training before, drop your experience in comments. Did it work for you, or did the rest set humble you? Hit subscribe for more deep dive into training science and niche bodybuilding method. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.